Hello guys and welcome to my Node.js tutorial series. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the HTTP module in Node.js. To actually get the module on Node.js, what you have to do is you have to write that HTTP is equal to require and then give HTTP. That's pretty simple. Once you have this, to actually create a server using this HTTP module, what you have to do is create a new let, call it server, and make it equal to the HTTP variable that we just made, dot create server. Once you do this, it should create a server for you. Now, in programming, you know that we have to listen to a certain port. And to do that, we basically do server.listen. Then we give our port. Let's suppose our port is 3000. What this does right now is it creates a server on the port 3000. What we can do is we can console uh listening on port 3000, something like that. But for now, let's create an event on which we connect to. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do server.on, and inside of this on you put a few arguments. First argument you're gonna put is your event listener, which is gonna be, well, for us it's gonna be connection. We're gonna write connection, and then we're gonna create an arrow function, and inside of the arrow function you will have what is called a socket. Basically, what you do is you write here a variable for your socket, and you create the arrow function. Now, whatever is inside of this arrow function or callback function would be once you connect. So once you connect, you can do console.log and print out hello world. But right now, this kind of way of getting the connection is very low level and it's not very practical for when you're working in the real world. Instead, you do something else, and that's what I'll be showing you in a bit. First, let's delete this part. And now we actually go back into our place where we were creating our server. Inside of here, we create a callback function using, once again, the arrow. We generate a request and response pipeline. So request and response. Now, basically, the request, what it does is it grabs what the user wants, and the response is what we're going to give the user. So we're going to create an if statement here. I'm going to say if the request.url, so what URL they want to access, is equal to slash. So it's the root URL. What you're going to do is you want to console.log in the root. And what we can do with this is we can create another if statement that says if, let's say, the requested URL is slash hello, we can print out something else. This is why it's more practical in the real world situation. So log hello world, something like that. But there's a slight issue here. We're using console.log, and our user won't be able to see console.log. You only see that in the terminal. Instead, what we write over here is going to be response.write. And let me just rewrite that right here. Response.write. What's going to happen is this is going to make this print on the page. It's going to print this on the page. Now, if we open the terminal back up using either new terminal or Control Shift and tilde, we can open our terminal, and inside of here we can run our project node space index.js. Now it says listening on port 3000. What we gotta do is open our browser. So here I got the browser opened up, and inside of it we're gonna search this up. Localhost and 3000. If we enter this, but the thing is, it will never stop loading, and this is because there are a few issues in the code. Now let's head back to the code to see what they are. First of all, I have to put 3 equals. This is just a rule in Node.js, and it doesn't usually apply in other languages, but you gotta make sure you do this. Second of all, we are getting a request, sending a response, but we're never ending that response. In Node.js, this is a rule that every time you're finished or sending a response, you have to state that you finished. Otherwise, the computer will just keep loading and loading and loading your response. So what you have to do is you have to write response.end and then put it in brackets since that is a function. Response.end, put the parentheses and save it. Now press Ctrl C to terminate the server and start a new one. Node index.js. Now this time, if I reload my page on the browser, as you can see, it says in the root. Now, if I go into hello, so slash hello slash, what happens is it says hello world. This means it knows in exactly which URL we are in. So that's why it is very important to do it in the more advanced way, so you could get practice for when you get an actual job, rather than using an event emitter. That'll be all for today's video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and see you next time.